What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back with an Orcust deck profile. Now it's a little bit different. It's a going second variant of the deck. It's actually how I like to play the deck right now. I'm loving it. I just played at a regional this weekend and I did pretty well with the deck. Unfortunately, I went X3-1 in 9 rounds, so I just missed top cut. If I had finished X3, it would have been perfectly fine, but I tied in my last round. Anyway, that's not important. Point is, this deck is really, really good. I made some changes since that regional to make it even a little bit better because, you know, most of that regional I was just testing, but now I know that, okay, this card doesn't work. Like, I played the Mirror package and I just didn't really like that, but we'll get into that. If you guys do enjoy these deck profiles, though, it feels like I haven't done a deck profile in forever, but if you do enjoy these deck profiles, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out our Discord. The link should be in the description below. Go check that out. We're starting to have conversation, theory crafting, deck building, etc., etc. So check out our Discord and we'll get right into this profile. So it is a 50 card deck. I decided to play 50 mostly because whenever I played 40 or 45, there's too many good cards in this deck that you want to be playing, and there's too many cards that you don't want to draw. So upping it to 50 actually doesn't hurt. So to start off, we're playing double Harp Horror, double Symbol Skeleton, double Nightmare, and one World Wand. Now, double Symbol is something a lot of people don't play, but I'm telling you guys, it's one of the best. Like, I don't understand why people play one. Being able to play two, you just get so much more recursion, and a lot of the time your opponent doesn't expect it. So many games this weekend I played, and my opponent was like, oh, you have a second symbol. Like, they don't account for a second symbol, and then when your opponent doesn't account for it, that's when, you know, they'll make plays assuming you only have one, but then you keep going, right? So that's why double symbol is really, really good. I decided to cut Harp Horror down to 2 only because for space you could still play it at 3, but I just decided, like, you know, at 2 it's good enough. You don't really want to draw it. Like, drawing it isn't horrible, but you never really want to draw it. Now, for the best normal summon in the deck, and probably the only like good normal summon in the deck, is 3 Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. I decided to play this and it was really, really good. One, because it's a 1-card combo. Like, this goes straight into Mermaid for you. Also, you can summon this onto your opponent's side of the field, and then you're not afraid of Nibiru. So Nibiru becomes super, super dead, absolutely dead with this card on the field. And then later on in the combo, like, if you want to give it to your opponent or keep it on your opponent's side of the field, it actually doesn't hurt. In the mirror match, it kind of sucks, but in the mirror match, like, you know, playing another Orcust matchup, you won't be seeing a lot of Nibiru anyways. The point is, if your opponent doesn't have the Nibiru, they don't have it, but if they do have it, the Ibli is super, super good in that sense. And then, yeah, so playing triple Ibli, best normal summon in the deck. Then I said already that this is a go second variant, so I am playing triple Dino Wrestler Pankatrops. Now, this card is amazing. Obviously, we all know how good Pankatrops is, but in the main deck, it's so good because people don't expect it. You can out so many boards with this. Like, one time I opened Dino Wrestler Pankatrops and Mind Control, and I added my opponent's entire board. Now, this deck does really well. I'm going to tell you right now, this deck does really, really well against meta relevant stuff, but hurts against Rogue because a lot of the cards in your deck don't do much against the Rogue decks. So, for example, I played Dragon Link. Both games, they went first, they made the full combo, and I outed both their boards and then proceeded to either OTK them or kill them the next turn. So this deck can out huge boards like that super, super easy. It's a very good deck in that sense, but against Rogue it's a little bit harder. Pankatrops obviously is really, really good against Rogue, and against everything Pankatrops is really good. Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha. Now, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. This card is so, so good. So 3 Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha. This card is really, really insanely good. It's a starter. Obviously, no cards on board. You summon this, you make your link 1. A lot of the time, if your opponent has a really big board, the thing is, this activates in graveyard, so if you're playing against Dragon Link, they can't actually Abyss negate it. They have to Savage Dragon negate it. And so if they do it like that, it's really good because what happens is you'll summon this, you make your link 1, then this activates in graveyard. Now, the other option is if they have the Hieratic Seal, they can Hieratic Seal bounces back to your hand, but at that point, they've already used the negate just for this, and then you can continue playing, right? So Vishuddha is really, really good in that sense. I am playing double Destrudo. It's something I wanted to play 3 of, and I actually did play 3 of at the weekend, but when you play 3 of them, it's honestly too much. I don't want to see 3 Destrudo. The reason I played 3 on the weekend was because I also played Mare, but honestly, the Mare combo never came up once. I think it came out maybe 1 time in the whole tournament, but I drew it more times than I wanted to, and just drawing it is absolutely dead, right? Whereas if you draw one of these, like, it's not great to draw them, but you can discard them, you can do something with them. Whereas when you draw Mare, it's absolutely dead, right? So double Destrudo. Then I am playing a little danger package, double Sutranoko, double Jackalope. Now, you guys expect me to say double Nessie, right? I actually don't have double Nessies, but what I decided to play instead of Nessie was one Thunderbird and one Bigfoot. Now, people are going to be like, okay, yo, why don't you play Nessies, blah, blah, blah. These are actually insanely good. Bigfoot, one being a 3000 attack monster, is actually really relevant because there were times on the weekend, and there's just times in general through testing, where I need to get over a big monster, and Bigfoot actually does that for you. On top of that, these two are both 8s and can help you make Dingirsu really, really easily. One time in testing, I ended up mind controlling one of my opponent's Thunder Dragon Colossus, and then I ended up summoning the Bigfoot. Then I used both of them to make Dingirsu and then send the second Colossus he had, and it was really, really good. So these two are actually really good. Also, this outs Floodgates, which a lot of people like don't account for. So 6 dangers. I kind of want to up it up. Maybe if I up it to 8, then I'll play 2 Nessie as well. But 6 dangers is really, really good, and these ratios are really good in my opinion. Then for just the one-offs, I would play 1 Armageddon Knight, insanely good card. 1 Greffer, because if you see this with a Destrudo or a Nightmare or something, it's really good. And 1 Shaddoll Dragon. The reason you play 1 Shaddoll Dragon is because you play Shaddoll Fusion. Again, insanely good card going second, insanely good card for this deck. So off to our spell cards, we are playing, like I said, 3 Shaddoll Fusion. This card is insanely good going second, gets you a free monster on board. Going first, actually, this isn't horrible either, because there was one time like recently where I drew Fusion and Dragon, and I was like, you know what, you can hard make Winda turn 1, and that's actually really, really good. So Fusion comes up, going second is even better. Triple instant Fusion, you play Thousand Eyes, and you play Winda again for the targets. Really, really good card. Now, I decided to play double Super Polymerization. Now, I have a love-hate with this card. Honestly, it's more love than hate, but the reason this card is so good is because it destroys like meta, right? Meta relevant stuff it's really, really good against. The thing is, if you're talking specifically about this weekend where I played the regional, I played 3 rogue decks in my first 3 rounds. Like my 3 losses happened in the first 3 rounds. I went X3 after 3 rounds and then won every single round after that. So the first 3 rounds I played Trap Trick, Madolche, Necroz. This dead. A lot of the cards in my deck dead. This card was dead. Like it's really, really bad. So the thing is, those matchups, the rogue matchups, was a little bit harder for this deck if you're playing it in my build. But this build is insanely good against Dragon Link, insanely good against Thunder, insanely good against Striker. Like the meta decks, the high tier decks, does really, really well. So double Super Poly, don't regret it. I know it's at 3. I don't like it at 3. You draw it too much. Super Poly at 2 is perfect. I am playing triple Mind Control. One of my favorite cards in the game. I've been loving this card since literally Blink format was announced. I love this card. Triple Call by the Grave. You still need to play triple. It's really good. Even going second, it's not horrible because if your opponent, let's say you're playing against a Sky Striker board, if they want to summon their Ray back after you get rid of their Link monster, you could just Call by the Grave the Ray. Against Thunder Dragon, this is really good as well. So Call by the Grave is actually a very good card. Double Twin Twister. I decided to main this because I expect more Striker in the meta. Don't get me wrong, like there's other, like Thunder Dragon is really, really good right now, but I expected a lot more Sky Striker just because the new tin promos make Sky Striker really, really good. So Twin Twister in the main, I don't actually regret playing this at all because a lot of the times I would need to pitch something in my hand. My hands weren't, like let's say you open a hand that's not too great, but being able to pitch a Harp Horror or pitch a Nightmare or pitch a Skeleton from your hand is really, really good for this. Even if it would just only pop 1, it was really good. I played Invoked, I think at one point, and just being able to Twin Twister, I think I Twin Twisted they set a card for their Mech Knight, and then I Twin Twisted their Meltdown and the card that they set, and then from there they just kind of passed, and I was like, okay, so I'm really good position there. So Twin Twister, insanely good card. I think I don't regret playing it in the main whatsoever. One Monster Reborn, this is just an extender for me. The reason I decided to play One Monster Reborn is because I thought of it as a lot of the time when I would play against Dragon Link or something like that, let's say you open your Monster Reborn like a Mind Control, right? So if you Mind Control your opponent's Abyss, and let's say you get one of your opponent's big monsters, what would happen then is essentially once you link and you make your combo, you can Monster Reborn your opponent's like Abyss back or your opponent's Boral Savage or something back to just get another big beater on your side of the field, right? And that is insanely good. So that's why Monster Reborn I just thought was a really good extender in this deck. One Rhoda just literally for the Armageddon Knight and the Greffer. A lot of these times you just side out the Rhoda, honestly, but you play it game 1 because it's still just being able to see it early and making sure your combo goes through. Like if you see a couple Mind Controls, maybe an Instant Fusion on a Rhoda, you're pretty much set. You have like full combo. So this is really, really good. And then one Babel, I'm pretty sure this is standard. And then I only played 4 traps, so I'll show them to you guys now. I played triple Imperm and 1 Crescendo. Now Imperm is technically the only hand trap I played. I decided not to play Ash or any of that stuff just because this deck is really good at breaking boards and not so much at, you know, like controlling boards, if that makes sense. So basically the reason I said this deck break boards is because like you play the Vishuda, you play the Pankatrops, etc, etc. So Imperm in my head, like, so the way I thought about it, of course Imperm is good, really good going second because it just acts as a hand trap, but even drawing it as your 6th card is not bad because you will, like, let's say you draw it as your 6th card, your opponent makes a full board, you'll Imperm one of your opponent's problematic monsters. Now if they somehow negate the Imperm, for like whatever means, then I mean you got through a negate regardless, right? So Imperm I thought was a really, really good card in this deck because going first, I mean it's a hand trap or it's a trap, you can set it. Going second, if you open it, it's a hand trap, you can stop your opponent's plays completely. But also if you draw as your 6th card, it's not dead, which is why I decided not to play something like Ash, because drawing Ash as your 6th card is like, okay, now that's dead. But drawing the Imperm is obviously really, really good. Also, a lot of the time, let's say you make your Orcust combo and then you set and then you choose to search Babel rather than Crescendo and you open an Imperm, you can set the Imperm and they'll think, a lot of the times they'll think, oh, he searched Babel because you already opened Crescendo, and then it just makes your opponent play around that a little bit better. So I really like this ratio. 4 traps, insanely good in my opinion. I really like the Imperm. So moving on to the side deck, I decided to play double Gamma Seal. This is because I'm so sorry for the mismatch, by the way. I hate this. I really want to get my supers, but the reason I decided to play double is because Striker is around, and I thought, you know, this is obviously really, really good against Striker, but against a lot of other decks that make boards, something like Pendulum, Thunder Dragon, Kaijus are insanely good in my opinion. So I actually don't mind. Like, I really like playing the double Gamma Seal. Triple Ash, just for going second, you know, again, I didn't main these because I don't want to draw them, but against Rogue, I played Ogre, to be completely honest with you, at the event, but Ogre was such, like, so low impact. I would Ogre my opponent a few times, and then they would just continue to keep going, whereas I think Ash Blossom is just a little bit more versatile in what you can hit, so Ash Blossom can stop a combo completely, right, whereas Ogre doesn't necessarily stop a combo, right, so Ash Blossom, insanely good. The third Twister, just against, you know, either True Draco or like back row heavy, Altergeist. I know that's been pretty popular lately. Sky Striker as well, something like that. Then I played Triple Dark Ruler No More. Now this card, I don't want to say underperformed for me, but every time I sided it in, I really didn't see it. The thing is, in theory, like, this card is insanely good. It's just, I think I got unlucky. I think I would still play it. I just got unlucky and didn't see them. I would still play it. This card is insanely good. I think it's better than Nibiru, in my opinion. Triple Red Reboot, again, against the back row. There's a lot of back row heavy stuff, so Triple Red Reboot for that. And then Triple Evenly Matched. This card is insanely good against Rogue. It's just unfortunate that I never got to see it against my Rogue matchups. But this card is insanely good. Against a lot of things, honestly, just being able to evenly match your opponent, they don't have any outs to it. The thing is with evenly match, though, against like a Thunder Dragon matchup specifically, is that they can just Thunder Dragon Fusion their Colossus or whatnot back, which is, I mean, not great, but evenly matched essentially just against Rogue and other decks is insanely good card, right? It's just an auto win button against a lot of stuff, so I decided to play it, and that's it for my side deck. So moving on to the extra deck, I'm pretty sure the extra deck is pretty standard. I'm playing double Dingirsu, now literally the best card in the deck, one of my favorite cards like in the deck. This card is just insanely good. Like, you can hard making this card. The thing is, I always thought, okay, you make Galatea, make this, but you know how many times, like, it's funny how many times you can just hard make Dingirsu, and it just comes up so often. It's so good. One long Girsu, just because I think this card is insanely good, especially with Babel. A lot of the times I would actually end on like a long Girsu Dingirsu board, and this board is just insanely good because you have the protection and then you have a quick play send, right? So I think long Girsu Dingirsu is a really, really good board. I really like this. Double Galatea. Now I wanted to play 3, but the more I playtested with this deck, the more I realized that the third Galatea was more of a luxury and not a necessity. Like, I never went into it at the whole event. Like, I never looked at myself and said I needed a third Galatea. What a lot of people don't realize is that you can actually shuffle back your own Galatea. I think it's a lot of the time it'll get banished through your opponent's card effects. A lot of the times your opponent will call by the grave your Galatea, or you know, by some means get rid of your Galatea because they don't want you to keep recurring it. Or the same thing with your Dingirsu, right? But a lot of the times what people don't know is you can actually just shuffle these back for their effects. So that's why only double Galatea is useful. For the Nightmares, you play 1 Mermaid, 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix. I'm pretty sure this is standard. Like, you don't want, I don't like Unicorn, to be honest with you. It takes too many resources. The Link 3 is too much in my opinion to make it, and it's not amazingly good. But Cerberus and Phoenix are very much necessary. I played 1 Underclock Taker just to help me like OTK or get over big monsters again. Like, one time I played a Blue Eyes player and he just made really big boards, and I just sat there and I'm like, okay, I can Dingirsu send 1 of these, but I can't really attack over most of them. And if you don't have a Nightmare play where you can send your Orcust Nightmare to boost one of your monsters, it's kind of sticky. So this actually comes up a lot. It's also a dark, so because it's a dark, you can still make it through the whole Orcust combo. What this card did replace was it replaced Yazi, because I played Mare, but Yazi never came up, so I decided to just play this instead of the Yazi. Then I'm playing just the 1 Link Karibo, the 1 Monk of the Tenyi just for the Vishuda. 1 Borosword. This Borosword OTK in this is so easy. Like, this deck can make Borosword so quickly. So Borosword, a lot of the time when you're going second, if your opponent makes a really subpar board, you can actually just end on like a Borosword plus a a monster and just OTK your opponent there. It's really good. Then Starving Venom for the super poly, Thousand Eyes for instant fusion, and then you just make Link Karibo, and then Window for either Shaddoll fusion or instant fusion if you need it for instant fusion, right? So that's it for the extra deck. 15 cards here in the extra deck. So if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know any changes you would make if you guys play this deck. I'm really loving this deck. Like every single time I stray away from Orcust, I just come right back to it. I think it's the same effect that ABC had on me. I played ABC for so long when it was good, then it got like, you know, not good, but then I loved still playing it. Same thing with Orcust. I think Orcust is still a really good deck. I think it's underrated, and a lot of people side Lancias anymore. So when people don't side Lancia, this deck just gets even better in my opinion. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any suggestions, leave it down in the comment section below. And with that, guys, Spanko signing off.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this, cross my shit.